Welcome to this edition of the Dad Jokes Explained episode. My name is Graeme Klass, and I'm the producer of the Daily Dad Jokes podcast. Each week, we examine a set of dad jokes and explain them what makes them so funny. Our aim is to arm you with information on delivering your own dad jokes to your friends and family, so you can further spread the laughs and groans. Let's get to it.
My wife was sick in bed, so I took the sheets off of her and then put them back on. Confused, she looked at me as I said, "There, now you are recovered."
In this joke, the humour comes from a play on words involving recovered. Normally, it means to regain health, but here it's used literally for putting covers back on. The dad takes advantage of the dual meaning by physically covering his wife again with sheets. This unexpected twist is what makes it amusing.
Did you know Taylor Swift was named after Albert Einstein? Yeah, 110 years after.
This joke relies on the misdirection of expecting a direct connection between Taylor Swift and Albert Einstein. Initially, it suggests a naming inspiration that seems improbable or humorous. The punchline reveals it's simply about the time gap, with Taylor Swift born 110 years after Einstein's birth in 1879. The humour lies in subverting expectations with an unexpected timeline twist, rather than any actual link between them.
How do you get a farm girl to marry you? First, a tractor.
The humour in this joke comes from the pun on a tractor, which sounds like attract her. The setup suggests a practical approach to winning over a farm girl, leading listeners to expect farming-related advice. Instead, it delivers a clever twist with wordplay that turns romantic attraction into an agricultural-themed punchline. This unexpected linguistic turn is what makes the joke amusing and memorable.
What do you call Batman after a fight? Bruised Wayne.
This joke uses a play on words with Bruce Wayne, Batman's alter ego, and bruised. After a fight, one might expect physical injuries like bruises. The humour comes from the clever twist of turning his name into a description of his condition post-battle. It's an amusing blend of character identity and literal interpretation.
What do you call a Viking who lost his boat? A hiking.
This joke relies on wordplay between Viking and hiking. When a Viking loses his boat, he can no longer sail, so he must travel by foot. The punchline cleverly turns the seafaring warrior into someone who is now simply walking or hiking. This unexpected shift in activity creates humour through linguistic transformation.
The therapist asked the wife why she wanted to end her marriage. She said she hated all the constant Star Wars Day puns. The husband looked at the therapist and said, "Divorce is strong with this one."
The humour in this joke stems from a play on the iconic Star Wars phrase, "The Force is strong with this one." The wife dislikes her husband's overuse of Star Wars puns, leading to marital tension. The husband cleverly twists the famous line to comment on their impending divorce. This unexpected adaptation of a well-known quote creates a humorous connection between pop culture and personal conflict.
I dig, you dig, we dig, she dig, he dig, they dig. It's not a beautiful poem, but it's very deep.
This joke plays on the double meaning of deep. The repetition of dig suggests physical digging, which creates literal depth. Simultaneously, poems are often described as deep when they have profound meaning. The humour arises from combining these interpretations in an unexpected way that subverts poetic expectations with a mundane activity.
SCUBA stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, but did you know TUBA is also an acronym? For terrible underwater breathing apparatus.
This joke plays on the acronym SCUBA and humorously applies a similar structure to tuba. While scuba is designed for underwater breathing, a tuba is clearly unsuitable for this purpose. The punchline cleverly transforms the musical instrument into an absurd alternative by reimagining it as another type of breathing apparatus with poor functionality. This unexpected twist creates humour through linguistic creativity and absurdity.
My friend keeps saying, "Cheer up, man. It could be worse." You could be stuck underground in a hole full of water. I know he means well.
The humor in this joke comes from the phrase, "I know he means well," which sounds like means well, but also suggests being trapped in a water-filled hole, or a well. The setup involves an attempt at comforting someone by suggesting their situation isn't as bad as it could be. The punchline cleverly uses wordplay to reveal that the supposed consolation is actually describing another predicament. This unexpected twist on language adds an amusing layer of irony to the interaction.
When I bailed my friend out from jail, he had a giant lizard clinging to his leg. Apparently, the court ordered him to wear an ankle monitor.
This joke hinges on the pun between ankle monitor and an actual lizard, often called a monitor lizard. The setup suggests a legal punishment involving electronic surveillance. Instead, it humorously twists expectations by introducing the literal presence of a reptile attached to his leg. This unexpected visual gag creates comedy through clever wordplay and absurd imagery.
I don't believe that cottage cheese should be considered a cheese. It's just occurred to me.
This joke plays on the word curd, which is a component of cheese. By saying, "It's just occurred to me," it humorously suggests that cottage cheese isn't worthy of being called real cheese. The phrase sounds like "just occurred to me," adding an extra layer of pun-based humor. This combination creates an amusing twist by questioning cottage cheese's status, while cleverly using wordplay for comedic effect.
What's blue and doesn't weigh much? Light blue.
This joke plays on the double meaning of light. It suggests something that is both blue in color and light in weight. The punchline cleverly combines these meanings by naming a shade of blue, light blue, which fits both criteria. This unexpected linguistic twist creates humor through wordplay.
People tell me that they pick their nose. I was just born with mine.
This joke plays on the dual meaning of pick. Typically, people might choose to pick their nose in a literal sense. However, the punchline humorously suggests that while others actively choose or pick theirs, he was simply born with his nose already there. This unexpected twist creates comedy through clever wordplay and subversion of expectations.
What did the convicted cannibal request as his last meal? 5 Guys.
This joke cleverly plays on the name of the popular burger chain Five Guys. The setup suggests a cannibal's last meal request, leading to an unexpected twist where he humorously desires 5 actual men instead of food from the restaurant. The humor arises from this wordplay and subversion of expectations, turning a brand name into something literal for comedic effect.
I'm collecting fish jokes for a book that I'm writing. If you know any, then let me know.
This joke relies on a pun involving the phrase "let me know" and the word minnow, which is a type of small fish. The setup suggests gathering jokes for writing, creating an expectation of straightforward communication. By substituting me with minnow, it humorously incorporates aquatic-themed wordplay relevant to the content being collected. This clever twist adds amusement through its playful manipulation of language related to fish.
You are an American when you enter a bathroom and leave. But while in the bathroom, European.
This joke relies on a play on words with European, which sounds like European. The setup involves being American before and after using the bathroom, while inside you're urinating. It humorously combines nationality with bodily functions through phonetic similarity.
What do you call a lion whose car breaks down 10 kilometers before he reached the zoo? A taxi.
The humor in this joke comes from the unexpected twist of a lion needing transportation. Initially, one might expect an animal-related punchline due to the setup involving a zoo and a lion. Instead, it subverts expectations by presenting a taxi as the solution for getting back on track after car trouble. This juxtaposition between wild animals and mundane human solutions creates comedy through surprise and absurdity.
Don't fall in love with a tennis player. Love means nothing to them.
In tennis, the term love refers to a score of 0. The joke humorously suggests that a tennis player might not value romantic love since, in their sport, love equates to nothing. This creates an amusing contrast between emotional relationships and sports terminology through clever wordplay. The punchline relies on this duality for its comedic impact.
What's the most groundbreaking invention by humanity ever? A shovel.
This joke cleverly plays on the word groundbreaking. Typically used to describe revolutionary inventions, it humorously applies the term literally to a shovel. The punchline reveals that a shovel breaks ground in the most direct sense by digging into it. This unexpected literal interpretation creates humor through linguistic twist and surprise.
Yesterday, I saw a guy spill all his Scrabble letters on the road. I asked him, "What's the word on the street?"
This joke uses a clever play on words between the literal action of spilling Scrabble letters and the figurative phrase, word on the street, which means gossip or news. The setup describes an unusual event, leading to an expectation of concern or assistance. Instead, it delivers a pun by asking for information as if each letter could form actual words on pavement. This unexpected linguistic twist creates humor through its playful manipulation of language and context.
Why do the numbers 1 through 12 work the hardest? They're always on the clock.
This joke plays on the dual meaning of on the clock. Numbers 1 through 12 are literally on a clock face, representing hours. The phrase also implies working hard or being busy. The humor arises from combining these interpretations to suggest that numbers are tirelessly employed as timekeepers.
When I was a kid, my mother told me I could be anyone I wanted to be. Turns out identity theft is a crime.
This joke humorously twists the common encouragement of being anyone you want to be into a literal interpretation involving identity theft. The setup suggests an inspirational message from childhood, while the punchline reveals that taking it literally leads to illegal activity. The unexpected shift from motivational advice to criminal behavior creates comedic irony. This clever play on words and expectations makes the joke amusingly absurd.
To the guy who invented zero, thanks for nothing.
This joke hinges on the dual meaning of nothing and the number 0. While nothing typically means absence in mathematical terms, it represents 0. By thanking someone for inventing zero with a phrase usually implying ingratitude or insignificance, it cleverly twists expectations to create humor through wordplay and irony. The punchline relies on this unexpected linguistic connection between everyday language and numerical concepts for its comedic effect.
I saw a fat ghost working out today in the gym. I had to say it, that's the spirit.
This joke plays on the phrase, "that's the spirit," typically used to encourage someone's enthusiasm or effort. Here, it cleverly applies to a ghost, which is literally a spirit. The humor arises from this double entendre as it connects both meanings in an unexpected context involving fitness and supernatural beings. This linguistic twist creates amusement by combining encouragement with wordplay about ghosts.
I had to quit my job as a taxi driver. Too many people were talking behind my back.
This joke plays on the phrase, "talking behind my back," which usually means people are speaking about someone without their knowledge. In this context, it humorously refers to taxi passengers who physically sit in the back seat and literally talk behind the driver's back while giving directions or chatting during rides. The twist comes from taking a figurative expression and applying it to a literal situation faced by taxi drivers. This clever wordplay creates an amusing connection between common idiomatic language and everyday experiences of cabbies.
What shoes should you wear to make a bank deposit? New Balance.
This joke hinges on the double meaning of New Balance. It refers to both a popular athletic shoe brand and the concept of having a new balance in your bank account after making a deposit. The humour arises from cleverly connecting footwear with financial terminology. This unexpected link creates amusement through wordplay and surprise.
A thief broke into my house last night looking for money. So I got out of bed and started looking with him.
The humour in this joke comes from the unexpected reaction of joining the thief's search for money. Instead of confronting or being afraid, the homeowner humorously collaborates with their intruder, implying financial struggles. This twist subverts typical burglary scenarios by highlighting mutual desperation rather than conflict. The punchline relies on irony and surprise to create comedic effect through an unconventional response to a break-in situation.
If you have 13 apples on one hand and 10 oranges in the other, what do you have? Massive hands.
The humour in this joke comes from the unexpected twist on expectations. Initially, it sets up a mathematical or logistical problem involving counting apples and oranges. Instead of focusing on arithmetic, it surprises with an exaggerated physical attribute as the punchline. This clever misdirection creates comedy by subverting typical problem-solving scenarios with absurdity.
When I was a child, I used to enjoy making sandcastles with my grandfather. Until my mother made me put the urn back on the mantle.
This joke relies on the unexpected twist involving the grandfather's ashes. Initially, it paints a nostalgic picture of building sandcastles with a grandparent, only to reveal that grandfather refers to his cremated remains in an urn. The humour emerges from this surprising shift in context and imagery, creating an absurd mental image through dark comedy. And that wraps up another episode of Daily Dad Jokes Explained. May these jokes inspire your own groan-worthy moments. This episode is produced by Klassic Studios. See the show notes page for sources and credits. Check out our other podcasts in our network at classicstudios.com.